Hi, it's Kai, and today we are going to just be doing a chill, chatty get ready with me because I want to do my makeup. I also want to film because I want to upload, but I also have a pretty full day of Rover appointments and a pretty full week of appointments, honestly. So I just don't see where I'm going to be able to film or like really put together certain types of videos that I've wanted to film. So this one is just something that is a little bit easy and chill, and we can just chat with each other. So I also think it's going to be kind of shop my stash with certain things because I switched out my makeup, my fall makeup, I guess you could say, or my everyday makeup rotation outside of my project pan items, which I do need to film a project pan update. That's definitely one that if I have a free sliver of time in the next week that I want to be able to film so that I can have that up for early October. As much as I would love to have a little bit more time to film and honestly upload more, I am kind of on like a one upload every week-ish schedule currently because that's what I can manage, especially along with making short form content as well. And as much as I would love to be able to film more and upload much more than I currently am, I gotta pay the bills somehow, and that's Rover's doing that for me currently because I am not yet monetized on YouTube. Everyone can see the subscriber count, under 1,000 subscribers currently, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just, especially with the fact that my TikTok is monetized and I'm not even posting there as much as I would like to be posting over there for it to be monetized. I unfortunately just can't, and it's gonna sound a little bit bad, but you know, we kind of are here because of decisions made to put us further into late stage capitalism and also add somewhat of a fascist aspect to it. So, you know, it's just kind of the reality. And I feel like too many creators, especially smaller creators, don't talk about the reality of being a smaller creator, especially because I feel like they're so afraid of alienating their audience or making it seem like, oh, I'm ungrateful for being able to make somewhat of a job out of creating content. But I truly continue creating content because I enjoy doing it. Like I stopped making YouTube videos years ago and made a new channel, this channel, because I missed making videos. It's not about necessarily monetization or making money off of my videos or affiliate links or brand deals or things like that. But those are things that contribute to you being able to make videos more, to spend more time with your audience. And like I said, I'm a person who I feel like we need to start having more honest conversations about how audience behavior impacts influencer culture and behavior overall, because a lot of us who are creators are also consumers of content too, and we are just trying to often keep up with the algorithms, keep up with what's popular. But if we make the active choice to not do that, we still get all of these people who lump us in with everyone else saying, oh, all of them are unreliable or lie to their audience or just want to make money, when in reality, smaller creators aren't really making that much money off of social media. What do I want to do for my eyes today? I don't know if I want to do like the Nabla Dreamy 2. I feel like something, yeah, let's do maybe some of these antique bronze type of shades. I'm kind of feeling something like that today. But as I was saying, I'm not monetized on YouTube, so I don't make any money off of videos. And while I have my affiliate links in the description box, sometimes people use them, but I'm not a person who has had people like very consistently purchase from my links, if I'm just being honest. My TikTok is monetized, but everyone knows, unless you're one of the big, super uber big creators, that you really don't get paid a lot for your videos over there. So while of course I'm never gonna not getting paid, you know, a little bit enough to help pay the light bill, help pay the water bill, again, you're not really getting paid a lot. And then a lot of people don't realize, when you are a creator of a marginalized identity, brand deals were already slimmer for you. Your ability to get them, the brands that want you for a brand deal, like honestly around 2020 was the most that I ever made from brand deals, and it unfortunately more so came from this collective white guilt than I would say brands actually. Of course, there are some brands who definitely are inclusive. They've carried that legacy with them since 2020, but how many brands are actually still hiring as many small creators of color versus defaulting to all of the same larger Black creators for their campaigns? How many of them have defaulted back to having shitty shade ranges just because now it's, I guess, not popular or cool to care about diversity? And even politically, there is an attack on such. So, but even before then, brand deals were pretty few and far in between as a smaller creator of color. But honestly, this year I have only had one singular one. And then you add the political and economic aspect of the current presidential administration, and that has made things, again, even worse, because there are brands who had contacted me about potential collabs in the future, but because of all of the tariff stuffs, they ended up not launching a certain product, not ending up doing that campaign. Then there's the side of things where I have been studying perfumery. I've been coming up with concepts, and not even just coming up with concepts, but actually like blending these concepts and bringing them to life to potentially open up my own perfume brand. I even had one of my friends who works in marketing and does graphic design and stuff like that design me some like logo mock-ups and everything. And I was getting more into saying, okay, maybe I will, actually make a final logo, or we'll go in and go over to her house one day and sit there and put all the elements of the different mock-ups that I liked in together. And again, then there's all of the tariff stuff that would make trying to get a small perfume business off the ground a little bit more difficult than I anticipated when that was my plan a little over a year ago. So I have been doing pet sitting, to help pay lay bills, because the bills don't stop just because the world is crumbling. And sometimes my clients give me access to their Wi-Fi so that I'm able to edit and upload and everything, but more often than not, they don't. And honestly, pet sitting is going really well. I'm making a good bit of money off of it, and I honestly do enjoy it. I mean, I'm a 6th house sun. In astrology, the 6th house corresponds to Virgo, and Virgo is the sign that actually rules over small animals, especially like small domesticated animals. This pen is definitely starting to go, which is great for Project Pam purposes, but not very great for wanting my eyeliner done today purposes. Oh my gosh, it's just getting worse and worse, I feel. Do I have a little? I don't know. It's like it's still black enough that it makes me feel like I can't throw it out yet, but it's skipping and kind of not doing what I want it to do. You know what I'm saying? I'll just use a black pencil and a smudge brush to kind of get those gaps and deepen it up. And I mean, as we're talking about affiliate links, I know I'm not talking as much about the products that I'm using. They'll be listed below and linked if there is a link for them. Some of them are affiliate links. Sometimes I don't have an affiliate link for that item and I just link wherever it is available. Sometimes they are discontinued. Oh my gosh, I'm just gonna take it off and start over. There is nothing wrong with rubbing your makeup off if it's not coming out the way that you want it to and starting over. Let me see if maybe I can get the end with this now. Sorry if I'm out of frame and you can't see me. I'm just trying to get up as close as possible to... I actually may need to call this a finish because it's kind of pissing me off. And I'm a person, when I get to the point that a makeup product is pissing me off, I'm not going to keep using it, even if it's in my project pan. And again, I feel like because it's skipping and such, that it's probably closer to its end than is necessary to keep it going just for the heck of trying to get it to run dry completely. But as I believe I was saying, I am a 6th house sun in astrology. Even though my 6th house isn't in Virgo, it corresponds to the sign of Virgo, so there can often be a lot of Virgo themes. And Virgo is also the sign that rules small animals. The 6th house and Virgo can also be kind of the house of service of some sort. So again, kind of all of those themes together say that pet sitting goes well. I generally enjoy it and can make some money off of it. However, I would love to be able to indulge my very heavy fifth house placements of expressing my creativity. Both my moon and my Venus sign are in my fifth house. I'm pretty sure they're close enough to be considered conjunct, but either way, they're both in my fifth house. So I'm really, really fulfilled by being able to explore or pursue my creative endeavors. But this also opposes Saturn in my chart, which is the planet of restriction and delayed gratification. So there definitely does feel like this restriction of actually pursuing my creative pursuits by the real life circumstances going on. And all that is to say, whether it is astrology that I am using or the socio-political climate I am using to explain not really being able to create as much, that is just kind of the reality of things right now. And that's the reality of a lot of your favorite small creators. And a lot of them are not like me, who will open their big mouth and kind of say, hey, this is the reality for a lot of us. So when you say that now you don't trust so and so because they decided to do one sponsored post, and I've just seen that a lot on some of my mutuals posts, but people are so quick to call you a sellout for that, but also don't want to be the people to use your affiliate links or to support you in other ways. Or if you decide to do Patreon or a Substack newsletter that is paid versus free, then everyone wants to call you grifting and all of that. And again, I am not necessarily personally impacted by this. Well, I don't think I want to use the elf today, if I'm being completely honest. Let's see what I've got in my stash to use. If you know and remember this product, you're gonna be like, bitch, you're old as fuck in the beauty community, especially. This is the NYX Total Control Drop Foundation in the shade Cappuccino, and I'm pretty sure it would fit my current skin tone. It honestly does not smell bad or off at all, but it's just like this liquidy serum, almost foundation. This was like a moment. Also back when a lot of the deeper foundations were a little bit too orange, and NYX, oh, I dropped it on my shirt. And that's one of the reasons why I ultimately do want to get rid of all of my dropper makeup, because I know I'm a person who drops it on their face and then drops it on their shirt. And I have messed up even some of my pants. I still wear them because honestly, I'm like, is it really that big of a deal? And if you're looking at the spot on my crotch that hard, like the makeup blotch on my crotch that hard, then I feel like it's more of a you issue than a me issue. However, in my project pan, I think I am going to start focusing on makeup that is just too fussy for me to use. You know, products like this where, again, I just end up having a frustrating experience with it, even if I did enjoy the general look of it on my face. You know, it's a nice, outside of it being definitely a little bit orange, I need to get a powder to counteract that for sure. Where's my Milani powder? There it is. But you know, sometimes you gotta shop your stash so you can remember why you like or dislike certain products. And that can also help inform your makeup. I don't like this brush. It can help inform your makeup purchases in the future. Like, hey, I don't like this type of product. I don't like this type of packaging. I feel so Oompa Loompa in this though. I feel like I may need to just go ahead and let it go regardless. It doesn't even look that Oompa Loompa in the packaging, but it is frosted glass, which is one of the most misleading as far as the color on the outside of it, you know? This powder is not doing a darn thing to help that. And I mean, it is a translucent powder, but sometimes it just adds, you know, just like a little bit of lightening. It's not doing that today. Maybe we use a bronzer that is not quite as well. Actually, let me go change my shirt and put stain remover on this one first. Okie dokie, transformation into a new black shirt is complete. I don't think I'm going to use this bronzer today, but I did want to show you as a little bit of a sneak peek for a project pan update. But this, and if you're on my TikTok, you've actually already seen this, but my Physicians Formula bronzer started shattering. I don't think I can even tilt it more than like right here before things start falling out, but I just kind of crushed it up like a loose bronzer and have been using it that way. So I think we might actually finish that by the end of the year. I think in the last update, a little skeptical about whether we would finish it by the end of the year, but I think we might be able to do it now that it is crumbling so much. But I do want to use something that's maybe a little bit less warm today, since I'm already feeling like my skin is a little bit more on the orange side. I don't want to add too many more orange and red tones, but I do want to add some definition to the face. So this is the Morphe Brontour in the shade Showmance. And don't think we're done about the topic I was talking about, because I really just am saying most of this to hammer in the point. Oh, this is more pigmented than I thought it was. But to hammer in the point that not all of us are Michaela Nigero, is that what her name is? Or how to pronounce her name, rather? I know what her name is, but I don't know if that's the right pronunciation. All of us are not her doing thousands of dollar luxury hauls or even super big PR hauls. Like, I do get sent a good bit of PR, especially fragrance PR. And while I am very thankful for that, because I recognize, hey, when I get a fragrance, I don't have to buy it to try it out. I've been able to pretty much maintain a fragrance no buy this year on the fact that brands have been recognizing me for speaking about their products in the past and just my fragrance reviews and stuff. I do more of that on my short form areas, but I do want to do more fragrance stuff over here, and I have done fragrance videos before. It's just sometimes how do I make them different? Like, doing individual reviews on fragrances doesn't seem like something, and just individual reviews, despite being on some of the makeup subreddits, and whenever creators come up, people are saying, oh, we want reviews on individual products, but like full reviews, not just the first impressions and stuff like that. But then when the people who are doing them do them, y'all pay them dust. Or when someone gets something sent to them, you automatically think that everyone just lies to be or stay on PR lists, instead of thinking, hey, maybe this person just has a wide appreciation for different fragrances or a wide appreciation for different makeup or makeup styles and textures and stuff like that, so they don't dislike a lot of it. Like I said, I'm never the person to be like, oh my gosh, influencers, especially the really super huge ones who are making a lot of money, they have just it's so hard. Their life is so hard. But I will point out the hypocrisy in what people say they're wanting versus what they're actually consuming. Like, your attention is currency, especially right now where people can barely afford groceries. Of course, I accidentally went over my eyeliner, but when people can't afford groceries and can't necessarily afford all of the same luxuries that they had been previously, your attention is the currency that these companies and brand, because when you do get a little extra money, they want them to spend it with you. And content creators are definitely used as a vehicle to, promote products, to get your attention, and it's up to you partially. Again, I know that there are these algorithms and all of this stuff in the background that sometimes YouTube search feature, as someone who uses it very often, unless you're looking up a how-to video, it is almost useless at this point. That means that you are going to have to, as I've said in previous videos, look a little bit deeper, go past the first few pages of a search. Maybe you look for some creators on other platforms and see if they're on YouTube, or ask them to come over to YouTube. But really, if we want to see actual changes in the types of content that is offered, you have to change your viewing habits. You have to give your attention to the creators you think are worthy of it, instead of like, the only reason I even know of Michaela Nigero and of that haul is because so many people are, especially the influencer haters, are so misguided on what a tax write-off for an influencer can be. And I say this as someone who quite literally has a CPA. I went through 2 accounting degrees. I know what I'm talking about, and people will be fighting me down in the comments saying, oh, she showed her video or those products in a video so she'd be able to write them off for tax purposes. That's not how that works. That is not how that works at all. And no matter how much I try to scream from the rooftops, or other people who have actual knowledge try to scream from the rooftops that, yeah, maybe functionally she can write them off, but that doesn't prevent the IRS from coming back later and auditing her and saying, yeah, these purses were personal assets or they were used. Can you show us that they were only used for your videos and business use? If you can't prove that, which it would be very difficult to prove that a article of clothing was only used to be shown in a video or to be shown in videos or in the background of a video as a business like sometimes y'all don't know everything and that's okay, but at the same time, let's not hold everyone to this same standard when we don't know everything or don't know how everything works. What blush do I want to use? I'm still very thick in my, what do you call it, my powder blush era, I guess. I actually don't know if I've used this one in a video. This is newer. Did I use this in my last video? I might have. If I'm using it again, I'm sorry. But this is the CL Flush and Protect. The reason I wanted to use this is because there are some kind of pinky mauve tones pulling through with the eyes today. And I feel like this is a nice shade to kind of go along with that. It's not too purpley. It's not too berry either. It's between a berry and a pink shade. I did get this into me, and I will say you do have to, if you're a person who likes blush, to build it up on your brush a little bit because it's definitely one that's more meant to be a buildable type of formulation. And it's like, yeah, you can see the difference. Like there's blush on this side, but you guys know how I like blush. So I do have to, like when I say I'm going in, and especially if you're of a deeper complexion, I think this might be the deepest shade that they're offering, which is a little womp womp if I'm having to build it up. And again, I know I like a lot of blush, but I'm just thinking of someone like my older sister's skin tone. Like, would this really even show up on her, or would I have to basically dig out half the product to use on her or someone of her complexion? And I've been liking to keep my blush pretty much almost just on my temples, not even really bringing it as far down on my face and the apples of my cheeks, but I still do blush my nose because, you know, that's how I like to roll. And I think since we do again have some pinky tones going on, that I'll use this Urban Decay face balm because I haven't used this in a while. It did get sent to me, and I use one of the shades as an eyeshadow topper much more than I use any of them for a highlight, but I also don't have a whole bunch of more pinky champagne toned well, I do, but most of them end up having a little bit of a gold shimmer to them as well. And I think I just want something today that is a little bit more, you know, like actual champagne pink. It feels like it's kind of sticking in one place a little bit. Maybe blending it with a brush is better. Oh, that has blush on it. Darn it. Oh yeah, that's a nice brush for this. This is what the Chisel BMX 250 from R&L Moto Pro. It's like Royal and Lang something, but it has a nice little area. Let me get a little bit more. That might have been a little bit too much. I guess I'm not sure exactly how oh gosh, it's getting crazy. Okay. I'm not sure how I like these highlighters or like on the face, how I like to apply them best on the face. Let me see if I can like blend back in with my blush brush. Sometimes your makeup doesn't come out as nicely as you wanted it to, and that is okay. That is the point of shopping your stash. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm in love with this formula for on the face. There's just something that's not really blending and sitting very right with me, and maybe it's on top of these products I have one in particular. I'm not liking it, if I'm being completely honest. I'm gonna try a little bit more on my nose with the brush I regularly like to use for highlight, and on my Cupid's bow. Yeah, I think this brush in particular blends it out well, but that other brushes don't do a good job. And I think this was the brush I have usually used with it, which means that it's a fussier product than I expected it to be. Then for my faux freckles, I take the Freckles from Pseudo Labs, and this is the shade 03, which is a little bit deeper than what I like. And sometimes I do use the little comb to comb it on my face and do freckles all over, but more often than not, I use an empty Freck container because Freck has been out of stock. Well, I think it came in stock on their website, but I was just like, oh, let me do my project pan and finish the freckle products that I currently have because I still have a few, but it's been out of stock on the Sephora website for the longest time, and it's making me think that Freck is going to be coming out of Sephora soon. Which, if I'm being honest, there are some brands that I feel like their aesthetic just catered to Sephora over Ulta. Sephora may be trying to reposition itself as more of the luxury or higher end option, even though they do have some affordable brands in there. I just feel as though, I don't know, getting rid of some brands that have a certain type of aesthetic. But to me, Freck always seems like an Ulta brand. I don't know. There are just some brands that just feel more Ulta than Sephora, and some that feel more Sephora than Ulta. Like, I would say Rhode feels like a Sephora type of brand. I can't remember if I said everything on the topic that I wanted to say, but I guess to sum things up, since we're doing lips and are near the end, instead of putting so much energy into hating creators or certain types of creators or what they do, why not put that energy into supporting creators who do what you want to see more of? So then the trends will shift, influencer culture will shift, more creators will say, especially ones who, because let's be honest, there are creators who come up with their own cool concepts, or even if they're using trends or other people's concepts, they make it their own, or they just have their own personality. They're not a carbon copy of everyone else. But I feel like we're also at the point where so many creators are just a carbon copy, link affiliate list of every other creator, especially in certain niches or certain areas. Like, you know, everyone got on that one creator saying, oh, NYC TikTokers are a certain way. Well, maybe if we supported the ones who weren't the typical NYC transplant, I low-key feel like this would have looked better with a more matte lip. I would have wanted a matte lip today, admittedly, so I'm going to let this wear off and eventually probably change into a matte lip, but I do need a little bit of moisture on my lips for right now. But as I was saying, if everyone didn't follow or keep up with, even if you dislike some of the creators that are more so carbon copies of each other or do the same type of content, same affiliate links, click in bio, link in bio, like if more of the smaller creatives were supported, then maybe the culture would shift toward more of the smaller creatives being lauded and the people who have an actual different perspective or who are doing a little something different instead of just hopping on every trend. I forgot eyebrow gel, but if we prioritize those creators, then maybe we wouldn't be in this rut where people feel as though there are no authentic creators, there's no one who leads a certain life or that doesn't, you know, that keeps the relatability factor. There are plenty of people that even if they got more money or became a bigger creator would stay humble. I would say someone like Keith Lee has shown that you can become a super huge creator, become rich off of your idea, whatever it is, and still maintain a level of humbleness and still be a decent person. But it would take, again, platforming those types of people. It would take getting over some of the creators who are maybe a little bit awkward or who don't phrase everything the exact way that you like, or who aren't reviewing all of the newest releases because they're shopping their stash and trying to come up with looks versus reviewing products or this is new, this is new. And I'm saying this as someone who has done the work or is continuing to do the work, because I don't feel like you're ever completely finished deconstructing whatever you thought processes you have, you know what I'm saying? But when I question why I didn't see certain creators who looked like me, act like me, think like me, I had to look deep within myself and say, hey, why am I following certain creators? Am I following them because they are successful, because they have the numbers, but they fit a certain type of aesthetic? Like, specifically as a Black woman, I would say that the baddie aesthetic is what gets you more popularity in general on social media, and I'm just not the baddie aesthetic. I've tried being the baddie aesthetic before, bust down with, like, I was just never giving that. I've always been a little bit more of an alternative girl at heart, you know what I'm saying? So people have to be a little bit more open to seeing someone who doesn't present in the way that they think you should present as a creator or influencer or in certain niches and categories especially. But anyway, let me know what your thoughts are on all of this. I, again, as much of a consumer of content as a creator of it, am always interested in hearing how other people view their, I guess, own viewing habits and what content they gravitate toward and why they do. Anyways, I hope you guys are staying safe and healthy wherever you are when you're watching this, and I will talk to you guys in the next one.